I secretly supported Sophia's venture financially and with my efforts, but as soon as she secured the project, she dumped me for divorce, saying she was going to marry Brett. I smiled and called the CEO's office. It's getting cold out. Hayes is due to collapse. In my memory, Sophia was strong-willed, beautiful, and decisive, so I hadn't dared tell her my true identity before her career took off. I planned to give her a surprise later. But before I could announce anything, she delivered a huge surprise of her own. Staring at the divorce agreement thrown before me, my mind just buzzed. Sophia's words still echoed in my ears. My monthly salary is $3,000? My brows furrowed. Sophia scoffed, toying with her freshly done manicure. I originally wanted to have a good life with you, but who knew you'd be so unambitious, just working as a guard at Apex? Do you know who Brett is? He's good friends with Ethan, the boss of Apex. Ethan, our separation is inevitable. From now on, we won't be in the same social class. And from now on, you won't need to skimp and save, max out credit cards, to buy me designer bags. Sophia's expression was very complex. She pulled her already packed suitcase from the room and placed the keys on the table. I skimp and save to buy her designer bags. Skimp and save. If you walk out that door, we're truly getting a divorce. My trembling finger pointed at the door. I even hoped Sophia wouldn't be able to leave. At the very least, she still cared about our relationship. But the next second, Sophia stepped out, leaving a final remark, tomorrow morning at 9, courthouse. Don't be late. The burning candle on the table stung my eyes, a cruel irony. Brett? That sycophant who used to trail behind me, wanting to be my follower? Years later, he's even more annoying. I blew out the candle, personally cleaned up the mess, and then made a call to the CEO's office. It's getting cold out. Hayes is due to collapse. The other end of the line was silent for a moment, then immediately sprang into action. Understood, Ethan. At 9 in the morning, Sophia arrived as promised, arm in arm with Brett. The old Brett was now a much larger Brett. It was hard not to recognize him. Damn it, this woman ignores my six-pack abs and wants to cling to this? I felt my worldview was severely shaken. Sophia glanced at the car I'd arrived in, looking a bit sheepish. Ethan, we're just getting a divorce. Do you really need to rent a luxury car? I pointed at my global limited edition sports car and its $10 million license plate number, saying with a sigh, no wonder you're blind. If you can rent this car, I'll take your last name. Woman, you'll regret this. Hearing me, Sophia took another good look at the sports car. Did you win the lottery? Sophia spoke again. I say, little brother, you're really putting on a show. Sophia told me you worked as a guard at Apex. If my brother found out you were parking his car and using it to show off, do you think you'd still keep your $3,000 job? Brett pulled out a cigarette and lit it, his contempt unconcealed in his eyes. His oily, greasy face was utterly repulsive, yet thoughtfully lit his cigarette for him. Ethan, are you insane? I thought you were honest and decent, but I never expected you'd do something like this. Do you think I don't know your true worth? Don't worry, I'll give you $200,000 in the divorce. I'm not ungrateful. Take the money and live a good life. Don't go down the wrong path again. Sophia finished speaking and Brett pulled her into his embrace. My dear Sophia, you're too kind. I'll cover the $200,000. Your career is just starting. Just focus on that. Brett caught her face and kissed her. I couldn't stand it anymore. Get divorced. Right now. Sophia rolled her eyes and followed me inside. 30 minutes later, we each walked out with our divorce papers. Before I could leave, Sophia actually walked back in arm with Brett. I was completely stunned. Could this really be Sophia, my wife of 3 years? The roar of the sports car echoed through the sky. Everyone at the entrance of Jiangxing turned their gaze towards the car. Which department are you from? How dare you steal Ethan's car? Now just wait for me to call the police and have you arrested. As soon as I got out of the car, 2 security guards blocked my way. I knew with certainty it was Brett's doing. I could tell just by thinking about it. Giving $20,000 on the surface, but stirring up trouble behind the scenes, that was so typical of him. You don't even recognize Ethan? What are you doing guarding this gate? I pay your salaries, and you turn around and stab me in the back. Get lost, both of you. The 2 security guards muttered curses, but a few minutes later, when my assistant arrived, they were instantly stunned. Before leaving, something suddenly occurred to me. You don't want any trouble at home, so you know what you should and shouldn't say, right? After all, I still wanted to see the shocked look on Brett's face when he came begging me. My assistant reported the current progress. There was already evidence of Hayes' illegal operations. Then gather people to cause a ruckus. Give those victims' families some money, and handle it however necessary. I want the media to blow this whole thing up. Ethan, should we directly sever ties with Hayes? I looked up, and my assistant immediately made a sound and left. Before Enterprises was exposed, I held a banquet and invited Brett, because I wanted to see what kind of brother he truly was to me. Everyone had attended a masquerade ball before, so they all sat in their respective places before the host spoke. And the table behind me was Brett and his fair-weather friends. Mr. Brett, you're amazing. To be personally invited by Ethan, the boss of Apex, what an honor. Ha 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 ha, it has to be Mr. Brett. And sister-in-law is so beautiful, following Brett, your future is sure to be prosperous. All right, you're good with words. I'll give you that piece of land later. Land? I'll make your skin crawl right now. I scoffed, finishing my drink. Just as I was about to stand, I heard Sophia speak. Brett is still the smart one, otherwise I definitely would have been thoroughly deceived by that jerk. When we were together, I thought he was so rich, but he's just a regular guy. How could someone like that confidently promise a future? To let me waste my life with him, only to become a worn-out wife, and then if he cheated or something, wouldn't I have nowhere to turn? Exactly, sister-in-law. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. You can't go wrong with Brett. Yeah, I'll have someone take care of that guy for you another day. Take care of me? Since they've spoken, I might as well grant their wish, right? Without another word, I directly summoned a group of people and detained them on the spot. Brett was still yelling, "What's your problem? How dare you cause trouble on my brother's turf? Do you have any idea about my connection with Apex?" I clapped my hands, then walked up to them. Ethan, we used to play together when we were kids. Our bond is something no ordinary person can compare to. This is your turf. What do you mean by this? You owe me an explanation, don't you? Brett smiled ingratiatingly. Even if I didn't give him an explanation today, he wouldn't dare utter a word. I raised a hand, and the bodyguards removed all their masks. Sophia, being such a proud person, had never witnessed a scene like this, but this wasn't the time for her to lose her temper or speak up. I removed my mask and looked at her. Ethan? How dare you bring people to cause trouble on Apex turf? What the hell? Damn it, trying to impersonate my brother, you little brat, Brett rolled up his sleeves, but before he could get close, the bodyguards pushed him back down. Even though he was big and burly, he couldn't overpower the bodyguards. You should know, these were the enforcers I had carefully trained. They could chop up Brett and feed him to the fish if I wanted. My brother? How is it I don't know when I became your brother? As soon as I finished speaking, his so-called brothers started to mock me. Hey, you brat, who do you think you're fooling? Do you even know who Brett is? This is Riverbend City, and his brother is the CEO of Apex. This entire turf belongs to him. Do you think this is your playground for showing off? Ha 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 ha. If you know what's good for you, get out. I looked around. None of the people I had invited dared to speak. Then guess why, after several minutes, no security guards have come to kick me out. Apex is so powerful. Can I really fight them? I smiled, spreading my hands, utterly helpless. Then I pointed at the man who had just told me to get out. The man pointed at Swallowed. I haven't met Ethan, the boss of Apex, but I'm with Brett. Brett hasn't said anything yet. So, as soon as there was trouble, they pushed Brett forward. Brett was a man who cared about his reputation. Even if he cursed them half to death in his mind, he'd probably cheerfully acknowledge them as brothers. If you dare touch my men, I'll make you. Before I could finish, I made a gesture. The hand of the man who had been shouting was instantly dislocated. His screams were too loud, so a rag was shoved into his mouth. Ethan, are you insane? This is illegal. Sophia reprimanded me. Who saw it? Of course everyone saw it. Do you think we're blind? I'm telling you, you can't let love turn to hatred and then try to destroy me. Sophia's voice lacked conviction. She tried to appear calm. Right, love turned to hatred. You can't just take my child and marry someone else and expect me to be happy about it, can you? Everyone's gaze shifted to Sophia's stomach. Brett's eyes widened. Sophia, you're pregnant? Damn it, abort that child immediately. Our family isn't going to raise an illegitimate child for you. Sophia had never endured such an insult. She used to be the campus belle, admired wherever she went. Brett, he's obviously trying to fool you. I always used birth control. There's no way I could be pregnant with his child. What kind of future could a regular guy's child have? I would never allow my child to have such a background. Regular guy, such a background, birth control, those words undoubtedly pushed all my buttons. Brett, do you know who I am? I walked over and patted his face, as if teasing a dog. You're just a crazy lunatic with a death wish. I didn't bring my men today, But if I had, they would have dismembered you by now. Brett spat in disgust. True, a high-profile event like this wouldn't typically invite a group like Hayes. For no other reason than his reputation had always been terrible in the industry. Who knows Brett? Those who do, step forward. As my words fell, a few people gradually stepped forward. Mr. Davis, Mr. Williams, has he coerced you too? This lunatic dares to cause trouble on my brother's turf. When he arrives, he'll get what's coming to him. You guys, get someone to control him first. I'm going to tear him to pieces. Brett declared proudly, making threats. If he had any brains, he wouldn't have been stuck trailing behind me as a kid, always tripping. Come on, tell him who I am. I casually poured myself a drink, completely unfazed. Brett, are you crazy? You're the CEO of Apex, brother. Don't you know Mr. Ethan's identity? Brett, you've really exaggerated your bragging. You've offended Mr. Ethan. You'd better pray for good luck. Hey, what do you guys know? Let me tell you, Brett, the brother CEO you talk about is this a powerful figure right in front of you. Just as you said, this entire turf belongs to him. Who would dare help you? Ethan, are all these people actors you hired? Sophia still wouldn't give up, staring at me with a pale face. The young lady lacks discernment, mistaking a diamond for a pebble. There's nothing more to say. Pfft, you really get it, buddy. Everyone was chuckling in a few words, no one caring about the fate of Brett and his companions. Brett started trembling all over. Chapter 2, In the Spotlight Impossible. Apex. He's called Ethan, and you're Ethan. How can you be the same person? Brett still remembered my name. I smiled and nodded. When I was a kid, my family consulted a master who said the name wasn't good, so it was changed. You don't even remember my name, yet you use my reputation to show off? Was it fun to steal my Sophia? At his words, everyone gasped. Sophia, mortified, burst into tears. Ethan, what? What do you mean? I was also blinded by greed. You know how difficult things were for me. If you want to reconcile, it's not impossible. After all this, could she still try to smooth things over? I won't wear someone's sloppy seconds again, Sophia. Don't be nervous. We were husband and wife, after all. I only called you here today to tell you that we can interact more in the future. Sophia looked at me with tear-filled eyes. I had no choice. Brett manipulated me, and eventually, I had to be with him. You couldn't stand up for me. I had to shoulder everything myself. If I recall correctly, she was also the one who earlier belittled me as a regular guy, wasn't she? All right, stop crying, I gently persuaded. Whenever she felt wronged, I would always comfort her like this. Seeing my softened attitude, Sophia stopped crying and smiled, nodding. Mr. Ethan, this woman is no good. Exactly, she actively seduced Brett. Damn it, you woman, you switch sides at crucial moments. Beautiful women really are deceptive. Brett had the most right to speak on this matter, but he said nothing. You're all powerful and influential. Ethan won't believe you. He only has me in his heart. Sophia's once endearing appearance now seemed quite ordinary. It's all right, Sophia. Since you're with Brett, I'll send you a wedding gift. It's nothing serious. Everyone can leave now. I waved my hand, urging everyone to leave. The news that Brett stole my Sophia and I was still sending them a wedding gift immediately spread throughout the circle. My childhood friends, who were close to me, immediately wanted to rush over and beat Brett to death. Ethan, no, you're crazy. I'd be the first to object if you ever went back to that woman. Brother, you can't be a hopeless romantic. No way. I need to immediately get my grandfather to perform surgery to remove your hopeless romantic tendencies. If the company gets swindled away later, Uncle will kill us. Exactly. Uncle and Aunt are vacationing abroad. If they come back to find their house stolen, they'll really have nowhere to turn. Watching my friend's panicked and anxious expressions, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm just sending him on his way by driving Hayes into bankruptcy. Isn't that a good gift? That's so like you. I was overthinking it. Ethan's reputation as a big devil is well deserved. The family had vast assets. It wouldn't be easy to bring them down. But if their opponent was Apex, the Hayes family would be left completely isolated and helpless. I looked at the calendar. There were still 2 days until winter. These 2 days would be Brett's last days of arrogance. When the Hayes family heard that Brett had stolen my Sophia, they immediately demanded he get a divorce. Sophia agreed and immediately came back to find me. Ethan, Miss Sophia is waiting for you in the lounge. Understood. Waiting for me for 3 hours? That must be Sophia's personal record. I put down my documents, then prepared to get up and go over. Who knew I'd see Sophia arguing with the executive assistants? Do you have any idea that I'm Mr. Ethan's cherished person? Our past was just minor disagreements. How dare you walk all over me? And that ex-wife who ran off with someone else has the nerve to show up again. We treat you as a guest, and you treat us like slaves. Don't you look in the mirror? Exactly. R is so good, how could you abandon him for any Dick or Harry? Miss Sophia truly thinks highly of herself. Sophia, infuriated, picked up the coffee and splashed it at the three of them. Before I went over, my assistant had already gone to scold them, stopping the farce. The three assistants didn't dare move and could only stand with their heads down, silent. Sophia, however, started crying first, feeling wronged. Ethan, they insulted and bullied me. You have to protect me. The assistants' expressions immediately looked utterly disgusted, and they couldn't help but sneak glances at me. It was as if they were looking at an idiot with pity. What happened? I lightly cleared my throat. Sophia quickly interjected, actually, it's nothing. I was waiting for you here, and they came over to provoke and insult me. I got so angry that I accidentally splashed the coffee. Ethan, I shouldn't have caused you trouble. I can apologize. To the facts like that. If I hadn't arrived earlier and witnessed it, I truly would have believed Sophia's acting. Then go ahead and apologize. It's good to admit your mistakes and improve. Sophia froze, looking at me in disbelief. She would rather die than apologize. But the words had come from her own mouth. If she backed out now, how could she continue to pretend in front of me? Sure enough, after Sophia apologized, her body swayed as if she might collapse at any moment. By the way, Miss Sophia, is there something you needed to see me about? I asked suddenly. Sophia's carefully cultivated emotions were interrupted. She widened her eyes and looked at me. Ethan, I was just foolish and made a mistake. Are you in such a hurry to cut ties? With me? We were married for 3 years. Do a few issues mean we have to completely separate and never see each other again for the rest of our lives? Ethan. Sophia cried very sadly. I guessed she was sad because her dream of marrying rich was shattered. Ethan, I missed you so much. A sweet voice suddenly rang out. As I turned around, I was hugged by Chloe. It was my neighbor and childhood friend, Chloe. But she moved abroad after I got married and never came back. Ethan, who is she? Sophia pointed at Chloe, almost heartbroken. Chloe rolled her pretty little eyes and clung to me, not letting go. She lifted her head, revealing a small part of it, and mumbled, Sister, you don't even know who I am. Yet you dare come looking for Ethan? Oh, you wouldn't happen to be the ex-wife who caused Ethan to be being cuckolded, would you? Ethan, I. Sophia cried, trying to pull me, but Chloe, protective, blocked her. She was like a feisty little chick, absolutely refusing to let Sophia get close. I remember she used to be 5 feet tall. Now, it seems, she's still 5 feet tall. As a child, she loved wearing cute princess dresses and following me everywhere I went, doing whatever I did. She's become much more obedient as she grew up. Now she had long chestnut curly hair, a red dress, and a cute white bag, which indeed suited her personality. But no one would mistake her for a child anymore. Ethan Raspberry Sound, are you the only one who can say that? Chloe stood her ground. The assistants looked at Chloe as if she were a savior, giving her encouraging glances. Little sister, please step aside. I need to talk to your brother. Don't worry about adult matters. Sophia maintained a gentle smile. Chloe hugged my arm. Which of you sees that just because I call him brother, he's my brother? You tell her who I am. Chloe pointed at the 3 assistants. When I took over the company 5 years ago, Chloe would still come to the office every day to see me. So everyone recognized her. Miss Sophia, she's the heiress of the Shen, and she grew up with Ethan, our boss. Miss Sophia, Miss Chloe has just returned from abroad. I think it would be better for you to come back later. Miss Chloe doesn't like others disturbing her and Ethan. That's right. Sophia's face grew even paler. She nodded dejectedly. Her eyes were filled with sorrow, as if she had countless things she wanted to tell me. Ethan, I'll wait for you at home. She was referring to the property I had put in her name. Only, that wouldn't be my home anymore. Shortly after Sophia left, I received a call from Chloe's father. He repeatedly urged me to take care of Chloe. Mr. Shen, don't worry, I'll make sure she eats. After hanging up the phone, I saw Chloe looking at me with an expectant face. Ethan, are you happy to see me? Tell me, am I here at the right time? Take me to dinner quickly. Chloe pulled me, wanting to leave, so I quickly told my assistant to make a reservation. As soon as she returned, things were bound to get lively again. My childhood friends insisted on throwing a welcome party for her. Chloe initially refused, But for some reason, she suddenly agreed. And it was set for tonight. Ethan, are you going to leave me tonight to go find that bad woman? Chloe said, looking pitiful. Chloe, what are you acting for? How could I possibly abandon you? I chuckled, wanting to pat her head. But then she suddenly stood up from the couch, and my hand touched where it shouldn't have. Damn it. This was the little sister I watched grow up. Just as I was about to apologize, my friends pushed the door open and walked in. Ethan, how could you lay a hand on Chloe? Ethan, you can't do that. Is this something I can watch without paying for premium content? Wow, a 26-year-old uncle is going after a sister 5 years his junior. Shocking. My lips twitched awkwardly, and I quickly pulled my hand back, yet held onto my arm, refusing to let go for dear life. Ethan, everyone saw that. You have to take responsibility for me. Hee, just kidding. I'm grown up now, I won't just be fixated on you, my hot commodity. Oh no, you're divorced goods now. Chloe got up and moved to another spot, swinging her legs and casually eating from the fruit platter. In the past, she wouldn't have said something like that. That strange feeling in my heart was indeed very odd. My other friends all listened to her, whatever she said went. However, I hadn't expected Chloe to invite Sophia. Ethan, I see she's really not giving up. Besides, we can't solve things without meeting face to face, so why don't we clear things up today? Chloe's right. Whatever says, goes. Chloe, do you like handsome guys? Even if they're not as good looking as Ethan, they're still top notch. He. Ha ha ha, all right. The others started chatting, leaving space for Sophia and me. Sophia sat beside me, looking haggard. Even her carefully made up face couldn't stir my heart anymore. Ethan, let's go home together tonight. Divorced, there's no home. That place is yours, I gave it to you. As you said, take care of yourself from now on. I gave a self-deprecating laugh. Sophia tried to continue playing the pity card and persuade me. My mood was incredibly irritable, especially since Chloe, that little Chloe, was eagerly chatting with others and ignoring me. If any other woman had treated me like this in the past, she would have wanted to sit on my lap and declare her sovereignty. Could her return from abroad this time be a coincidence? Ethan, Sophia was still trying to perform her schemes, so I stood up and took Chloe with me to leave. Before leaving, I looked at Sophia and said, "You're good at reading the room. Don't appear before me again from now on, and consider your actions." Chloe's suitcase had already been delivered to my mansion. As soon as the car arrived, she wanted to get out. Ethan, I'm not a child anymore. Can you please stop treating me like your little sister? I'm also looking for a boyfriend and a husband, but don't worry, I'll keep my eyes open and let Noah and the others vet them for me. Unlike you, after 3 years, you ended up totally cheated on. Chloe finished speaking and ran off. I was choked into silence. When I recovered, I tore off my tie and went upstairs to catch her. Chloe, I always had a room for her, but after I stopped coming back, she stopped visiting too. As I pushed open the door, I saw Chloe about to change her clothes. Ethan, I'm not a child anymore. You have to knock before entering. How could you do this? Get out. Get out. Get out. Chloe, blushing, covered her chest and quickly shut the door. Having the cold shoulder, I returned to my own bedroom, with some indecent images playing too clearly in my mind. Damn it, Ethan, you're freaking insane. I muttered a curse, opened the bar cabinet, and poured myself a drink. Sophia sent me a message saying she wouldn't bother me anymore and that if Brett caused her death, it had nothing to do with me. She was playing the pity card to the fullest. One day later, on Winter, the overwhelming scandal surrounding Hayes could no longer be covered up. Brett was swamped and desperate, trying to pull strings and beg me to relent. But with the police arriving to investigate, he couldn't even leave the company building. Ethan, damn it, if you don't let me go, I'll drag the woman you love most to hell with me. On the video call, Brett was holding Sophia hostage at the Hayes building, preparing to jump. If I didn't go, he couldn't threaten me anyway. But what fun would it be if I didn't go? The police took me upstairs. Some reporters even flew helicopters to live stream it. With that level of dedication, it would be hard for them not to get the headlines. Ethan, you don't have to worry about me. I'll take responsibility for my own mistakes. Sophia's face was pale, and there were already blood marks on her neck. Saying that is useless. All police get down. If you don't get down, I'll jump. Brett dragged Sophia to the edge. One tilt of her head, and she could fall at any moment. He still had a hostage, so the police were helpless. They gave me a few instructions and then went down. Saving people truly wasn't my forte. Brett, what do you want to say? I neither approached nor rushed. After all, it was my Sophia he was holding hostage. Ethan, you looked down on me since we were kids and never played with me. Damn it, how was I supposed to know she was your woman? If I'd known, I definitely wouldn't have offended you. You're truly ruthless, driving me straight into bankruptcy just for her? The reporters were still filming from above. I glanced at the high-definition cameras in their hands and rubbed my forehead helplessly. You need proof when you speak. You broke the law yourself. You can't blame it on me. For what you've done, a few years in prison will suffice. Come out and be an honest person. If you have nowhere to turn, you can be a guard for me. Ah! Brett screamed wildly and stabbed Sophia in the leg. Ah! Ethan! Sophia cried uncontrollably. I really, truly regret it. Save me. Ethan, are you really that heartless? Brett roared. The longer it went on, the more sweat dripped from his forehead. Holding a person hostage and maintaining that posture, he was bound to lose strength eventually. What's the use of holding her hostage? Just hold me instead. Get holdings to help you make a comeback. Your problems are trivial. As I said this, hope ignited in Brett's eyes. Ethan, are you serious? Of course I'm serious. It's not worth it for one woman. How old are you? There's still good fortune waiting for you. I gestured as if I was surrendering, telling the police to tie my hands. Seeing this, Brett dared to move a little closer to me. Just as I was about to reach him, he pushed Sophia away and tried to restrain me with a backhand move. I grabbed both his wrists and executed an over-the-shoulder throw. Brett saw stars and was too much in pain to react. When he got up, it was with the help of the police. Ethan, you went back on your word. You'll die a terrible death. If you don't help me, I'll haunt you even as a ghost. I nodded. If you become a ghost, I'll hire a master to help you transcend. Brett was muttering curses as the police led him away, and also came to take Sophia, but she insisted I stay with her before she would receive treatment. Upholding the principle of a helpful citizen, I went. When the media reporters came for interviews, Chloe also rushed over. Ethan, are you hurt? You scared me to death. Chloe clung to my clothes, trying to check for injuries. The reporters snapped furiously, their eyes practically glowing green. I quickly interrupted Chloe. I'm being interviewed right now. I'm fine, we can talk later. Ethan, you idiot. Look how that woman has abused you, and you still put yourself in her shoes to save her. If something happened to you, did you think about me? Did you think about Uncle and Aunt? Did you think about Noah and the others? I can't believe you're just a hopeless romantic. Chloe was, crying inconsolably. Fearing the reporters would photograph her with her makeup running, I could only ask my assistant to lead her away to rest. Out of respect for me, the reporters naturally didn't dare to make things difficult. Thank you, media friends, for your attention. You may now ask your questions. Outside the hospital, a dense crowd of reporters surrounded me, blocking all exits. Mr. Ethan, what role did you play in the Hayes incident? Thank you for that question. Reporter friend. I played the role of the man whose wife was stolen. The reporters all fell silent. Just then, Sophia also came out, dragging her injured leg. Ethan, I was so afraid I'd never see you again. Sophia cried as she quickly moved towards me. One of her legs was immobile, so she had to use crutches to move. Mr. Ethan, what are your thoughts on Miss Sophia's change of heart? Thank you for the question. I'm doing just fine. Miss Sophia can regularly see me on the financial news. Silence fell upon the crowd once more. Ethan, do you really not want me anymore? Sophia desperately clutched my sleeve. I looked at her calmly. Not all men can tolerate being cuckolded. If you didn't have me in your heart, how could you have gone to save me? Sophia's heartbroken cry also voiced what everyone else was thinking. In most people's eyes, I was simply too proud to admit I still had feelings for Sophia. Sophia was the same, desperately clinging to a lifeline. Ethan. I took a deep breath. Seeing wouldn't let go, I simply took off my jacket. Saving a life brings immense merit. Besides, Britt kidnapped you because of me. Apex is involved in philanthropy, and as Ethan, the boss, I certainly have to lead by example. Philanthropy. Mr. Ethan, besides funding education for children with disabilities, does Apex have any new initiatives? I looked at the mini-camera lens and then nodded. Next month, Apex will provide free legal aid, specializing in divorce settlements. It's not scary for guys to get cheated on. What's terrifying is being a silent cuckold. Silence fell upon the crowd again. Chloe was stunned. She gave me a thumbs up as I led her away. Sophia didn't dare to cause trouble anymore. She asked for $1 million from me and then disappeared. Ethan, did you give her too little? Maybe give her a bit more to prevent her from coming back to bother you endlessly. Chloe still had the energy to worry about that. Then marry me. and she won't be able to bother us," I suddenly said. Chloe was so startled that she sprang to her feet from the couch. "I. You. We." Chloe's face was as red as a little apple, and she was awkwardly unsure of what to say. "Even if you have a crush on me, no one proposes to their wife like this, humph. But we've known each other for so long, so I'll give you a chance." Chloe was about to run, adding a sentence before leaving. "It's good for a young lady to be reserved." Pursuing took much more effort than usual because she had seen so much that she was rarely surprised. But no matter what I gave her, she was always surprised and happy. When we went for hot pot, she giggled. When we went to the amusement park, she laughed heartily. At a concert packed with tens of thousands of people, I proposed, but Chloe cried instead. "Ethan, you big jerk. You just knew I'd say yes when you proposed, and you've only been pursuing me for a month." "I'm not satisfied." The crowd was cheering. I looked at Chloe, knelt on one knee, and held up the unique ring. "Princess, marry me." This was the first time I had called her princess. Before, I always called her Chloe. At this moment, Chloe couldn't believe her own ears. People say childhood sweethearts can't compare to a destined match. Now, thinking back after all these experiences, I realized that the person I had always protected and held dearest was only Chloe. Chloe nodded tearfully. Just as she was about to reach out, a man suddenly rushed onto the stage. He moved incredibly fast, even the bodyguards couldn't stop him. "I'm going to kill you." To protect Chloe, my wrist was cut. "Ethan." The man tried to rush forward again but was quickly subdued by the bodyguards. It was an assault witnessed by everyone present. The assassination attempt during the proposal caused a huge stir online. Some said it was an employee Apex had bullied, seeking revenge. Others said it was a debt of love. The man looked to be in his 40s or 50s. It couldn't really be a debt of love. The police quickly provided information. The assailant was Sophia's adoptive father, but their relationship had never been good. Sophia never acknowledged this adoptive father and had lived alone since university. Her adoptive father, however, was very kind to her. Her mother had been receiving long-term treatment in the hospital, and it was her adoptive father who took care of her. After many days, this was my second time seeing Sophia. "Ethan, my father mistakenly thought you had bullied me, which is why he impulsively sought revenge. I apologize on his behalf to you and Miss Chloe. If you are willing to sign a letter of understanding, I am willing to pay compensation or anything else." Chloe was also involved, so I respected her opinion. "What do you think?" "Ethan, I thought this bad woman wouldn't care about her adoptive father's fate. People's hearts are soft, and you weren't seriously injured. A bandage and some time to heal will be fine. Since she's willing to stand up for her adoptive father now, I don't want to pursue it anymore, Ethan." "You shouldn't either." Chloe sighed. As she wished, I signed the letter of understanding. After settled her adoptive father, I went back once to give her the property deed for that house. "Thank you." Sophia was as refined and capable as before. It was as if nothing had ever happened. "You're welcome. Live well from now on. However, there's one thing you said that wasn't quite right. Good and evil and people aren't divided by status or wealth. Stay true to yourself, and you'll find your way." I didn't let Sophia see me out. She tacitly avoided bringing up past events. Saying nothing was the final dignity for this relationship. If someone takes the wrong path, it doesn't mean they can't turn back. Just like Sophia, who used to give her adoptive father a hard time, has now accepted him and is earning money to support him and her mother in their old age. The events of the past few months felt like a long dream. But now, the dream is over.